Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Skip or Buy, Here is Why. Today we're having a look at the remastered version of Tomb Raider Part 4, 5 and 6. But after so many polished recent releases featuring Lara Croft, we need to ask ourselves the following question. Do these classic games offer the thrills we remember, or are they better left in the past? It has got remastered visuals, new gameplay features, and it even has a photo mode. And having read the first reviews for myself, I can tell that some fans are hyped, but others are skeptical. Okay then, let's break it down and see if these games are a skip or a buy. Having played the games, I feel that the new Tomb Raiders mark a tonal shift towards a darker narrative approach. The last revelation introduced ancient prophecies and personal stakes, and Chronicles felt like a reflection on Lara's journey. And then we have Angel of Darkness, which delves into more gritty plots, including murder mysteries. And all these well-familiar storylines we see recurring in the remastered versions. I feel that the tone change from the first trilogy is very significant. So this game is more about than just improving the visuals. For me, I really feel that this remaster compared to the original versions amplifies the atmosphere to a more darker, more mature theme in the story. But realistically, this being a remaster, where the emphasis is more about polishing up the visuals and the gameplay mechanics, the story naturally is largely still the same as it was in the original. And the story back then has seen its hit and misses, especially with Angel of Darkness, which had a very uneven pacing, and the same more or less still applies today. And seeing this game through a 2025 perspective, I do feel that there is still charm there, even for those with these modern day expectations. And one of the most important factors in a remaster are the new visuals and audio design. And that's the next item we will talk about. So I feel that with these remasters, they have tried to place a strong emphasis on the atmosphere. And for that, beside a good story, you need visuals and audio that make sense in 2025. The original titles, they all had distinct environments, and I feel the remaster enhances them with modern visuals, so it works to a certain extent. Lighting and shadows have been improved, which brings out the more darker tone of the games. It shows that they tried to make the environments more immersive. Yeah, and I have to say the environments, they look pretty good, albeit for me personally, it took me some self-convincing to accept the outdated feel of these visuals. I don't know, I just guess I hope for a bit more from this remaster. And the audio, it has been revamped. It has a cleaner sound and more and better restored voice lines for especially Angel of Darkness, which adds a much needed context to the plot. And now a bit about the gameplay mechanics, the backbone of any game. And I have to say that the remaster has improved the gameplay. Gone are the stiff and clunky controls of the past. Playing the game, I felt that the updated controls offered a smooth movement, no more tank controls, and fresh combat mechanics. It is now possible to shoot around corners, use psychic shields, and Curtis Trent has new abilities that makes this gameplay more enjoyable. And compared to the original, I feel that the remaster has really improved the game. It offers modernized controls, which makes shooting, jumping and scaling of cliffs and all that crazy stuff much smoother. And speaking about smooth, I'm happy to conclude that this remaster performs well. It has stable frame rates and no major bugs. And that's how it should be, but in all honesty, there are so many games which have loads of bugs and frame rate issues. Luckily, this isn't one of them. And as a last item, I would like to talk about the playing experience. I feel the games really managed to combine nostalgia with modern improvements. And there's a lot to explore, and this being 3 titles with 3 different stories and narratives, there is loads of stuff you can do and all is set in very different settings. And on top of that, the remaster adds fresh visuals and fresh controls, but it still manages to retain what made these titles stand out. But I did feel that the pacing in some games were a bit slow, and especially I felt that in Angel of Darkness, and probably that's due to its open world structure. But all in all, it remains an enjoyable game to play for fans and newcomers alike. And having taken a look at all the different elements in this remaster, now it's time to answer the question whether you should skip or buy this game. I would skip this game if you are looking for more tight visuals and smooth mechanics. I feel that the visuals feel too outdated from a modern point of view. So I think if you're not a fan of the older Tomb Raider games, the gap might be too big to go for it. Let's face it, the controls, the pacing and overall design just don't cut it when you compare it to the Tomb Raider games which have been released in the last 10 years or so. Another reason for skipping this game is if you want a tight and modern narrative. These games have stories that are more about the adventure and exploration than deep, complex storytelling with lots of options and branching out storylines. I think if you're craving a more emotionally rich experience, these older entries might leave you wanting more. And you might consider skipping it if you're not into slow-paced exploration games. A lot of the gameplay here is about navigating environments and solving puzzles. So if you're someone who prefers action or more faster gameplay, this might not be your vibe. And now let's have a look why we might buy this game. And the first reason, of course, is if you are a hardcore Tomb Raider fan, or if you're curious about Lara's older adventures. You might have played the earlier games and you missed that classic formula, then this remaster might be for you, because it brings Lara's first big adventures back to life with all the nostalgia. These games could also be an interesting pick if you enjoy puzzles and large settings. These games are all about exploring massive environments and figuring out complex puzzles as you go. If you like that feeling of getting lost in tombs and in ancient ruins, you'll probably appreciate the challenge these titles offer. And consider getting it if you like remaster upgrades which don't change too much to the classic formula. There are some changes, as the remaster offers new visuals and gameplay improvements, but it still manages to retain that core Tomb Raider feel. So if you're cool with these updates and the fact that things might be a little bit different from the original, then check it out. Having shared my thoughts, I'm really interested to hear your take on it. Are you consider buying the remastered set, or will you skip it? Let me know in the comments, and please don't forget to subscribe for more reviews. Catch you the next time on Skip and Buy, here is why.